In nearly 150 years of MLB history, they've crafted rules for just about everything, right down to what players wear. From hats to shoes to jerseys, there's a rule for every stitch on those uniforms. But here's the fun part, the MLB has some pretty strict no-go zones when it comes to player attire. Trust me, you won't believe some of the things they've banned from the field. Rainbow cleats. This might annoy the members of the LGBTQ+ community and others who sympathize with them, but it pains us to say that the MLB once stopped Sean Doolittle of the Washington Nationals from showing his solidarity with the LGBTQ+ community by banning him from wearing his pride-themed cleats on the field. Apparently, despite making everybody know that the reason he was wearing these rainbow-colored cleats was to show his support for the LGBTQ+ community, the MLB decided to stand by their stance, and with the removal of a rule which allowed non-uniformed cleats for special reasons or occasions, they were able to prevent Doolittle from performing this simple act of supporting this historically maligned and persecuted group. Such a shame, because he had gone through a lot of effort to customize the cleats all by himself. Either way, Doolittle proved he wouldn't be held down by this irrational rule, or lack thereof, by switching strategy.
During Pride Month, I wore cleats that I painted to have the pride flag was on my left foot.
Instead of customizing his cleats, he decided to wear a t-shirt that displayed a similar message of support to the LGBTQ+ community, something that the MLB couldn't ban. With the words "you, me, we" on his chest, Doolittle let the world know that he couldn't be denied when it came to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Remembrance cleats. You'd think the MLB would take a break with the implementation of their rules during special occasions, but no, the MLB doesn't play it like that. I mean, look at when Pete Alonso decided to pay his respects to the victims of the tragic 9/11 attacks back in 2019. All he did was give his New York Mets teammates custom-made cleats to commemorate the event of that day. But the MLB just wouldn't have it. As soon as the MLB and their commissioner, Rob Manfred, got wind of this, they threatened him with a fine.
Everyone kind of banding together and wearing them during the day, it just showed a lot of respect to the people who are directly impacted.
Despite this, Alonso decided to carry on with his plans by wearing the custom-made blue and red boots that had touching quotes on them during pre-match training sessions. Despite the fact that the well-executed and beautifully designed boots were considered to be a success, the MLB still turned their nose up at them by fining Alonso $10,000, leaving the Mets fan enraged. Irregular cleats. Next up, we take a look at Brett Gardner, who was made to pay for disobeying another rule which concerns the cleats players wear on the baseball diamond. Apparently, baseball players aren't allowed to wear boots that do not show at least 51% of one's team colors. And apparently, Gardner was forced to pay a fine when he disobeyed this rule by wearing cleats that didn't have the colors of the Yankees when he played for them back in 2014. Unfortunately, the MLB refused to budge when it came to adhering to this strict dress code. Who would have thunk it? To be honest, it makes sense that players must wear their official team uniform articles and other team-issued clothing items, at least so that we can avoid confusion on the baseball field.
Hit hard down the right field line. It is gone. Gardner with a home run.
Gardner was forced to pay up for this seemingly harmless offense when he wore navy blue and white cleats that broke this strict dress code. Following this, Gardner made sure that he stuck to the MLB rule, which said that all players on a team must wear uniforms identical in color, trim, style, and type, and all players must wear shoes that are at least 51% of their team's primary colors, which was picked and designed by the main club's uniform system. Do that and you won't have to cough up the dough for breaking the rules. Floral cleats. Men, the MLB needs to chill. Even floral designs aren't allowed in the MLB. Now, we all know that they have some strict rules when it comes to their dress code, but what do they have against floral prints on players' cleats? Well, just a few years ago in 2019, Clevenger of the Cleveland Indians was made to pay a fine for wearing these floral boots while pitching against the Milwaukee Brewers. Despite being given some prior warning, Clevenger dismissed them because he believed that there was nothing advantageous about wearing these beautiful cleats. But the MLB does not allow any customization at all. It's prohibited on their boots and on their uniforms, and there's nothing you can do to change that. As such, he was made to pay $1,000 in fines to the MLB. We have a feeling that Clevenger didn't really care because at least he got to put a sunflower on his boots. And this was important because it was for his baby girl. Hilariously, the MLB tried to claim that the boots would be a distraction to those that Clevenger pitched against because they were too bright. Can you believe that? Just say you wanted a pair, bro. Nobody's hating. Blackout cleats. What's up with these cleats though? Even if you wear all black cleats, you will get in trouble. Something that you'd see in sports all over the world. In 2018, Ben Zobrist of the Chicago Cubs was forced to learn the harsh truth of this strange rule when he was fined for wearing a pair of blackout cleats during an MLB game. Apparently, players must wear cleats that have either a white base with collared accents or white cleats with black accents. It must have been annoying to all involved because these boots were made just for Zobrist by Nike. How's Nike gonna make these sick cleats for our boy and then the MLB is gonna make him pay for it? Although these players may be able to pay the $2,000 to $4,000 fine that comes with disobeying this rule, it's probably best to avoid such fines by complying with the rules, even though all Zobrist wanted to do was pay his respects to some of the legends of the game. It kinda sucks, doesn't it? Jackie Robinson boots. Men, the MLB seems to be a wild place. You can even get fined for wearing boots that were approved for other people. In 2017, Adam Jones of the Baltimore Orioles was fined for wearing boots that were approved for players on April 15th, which actually happens to be Jackie Robinson Day. Jones simply wanted to pay homage to the legendary baseball player and the tireless and exemplary work that he did towards breaking the racial barriers that were stamped firmly in the game at that time. Unfortunately, the MLB does not compromise on anything when it comes to its rules, and seeing that these boots didn't have the 4 basic elements every cleat must have, the MLB just wanted to have it. Apparently, the boots must have cleats or spikes that aren't harmful. The sole must be 1.5 inches in thickness. They must contain no external attachments such as zips or buttons, and they must be consistent with accepted standards of propriety and good taste. Crazy. They're just a pair of cleats. Van Scully cleats. Finally, we take a look at Yasiel Puig, who fell foul to the MLB's strange rules when it comes to their cleats. This time, they fined Puig in 2018 for wearing Vin Scully-inspired boots when he heard of the sports broadcaster's retirement.
Take a look at the shoes that Yasiel Puig is wearing today. Let me give you a shout of them. Look at those.
For this homage to the legendary Dodgers figure, Puig was made to pay a fine for showing his love for the sports broadcaster. After hearing of the boots which had Vin Scully's face on the side and the text which went, "Vin for the win," along with it, the MLB decided to give him a big fine. Man, it just looks like the MLB needs to take a chill pill with these rules.